Hi friends, welcome back to the channel. It's me, and today we are going to talk about the hidden side of meetings. Before we begin, I just want to say thank you so much for all the love and support you've shown us over the last few weeks. We've been featured in a few places, and it's all because of your support. So thank you so much. Please do share this video with your friends if you think it will help them. Now let's get started. Meetings, we all hate them, but we all have them. I remember when I was working at my corporate job, I would have at least 2 to 3 meetings every day. Most of these meetings were unnecessary, but we had to have them because that's what the culture demanded. Now, after I learned about the hidden side of meetings, I started seeing them in a completely new light. Here are 10 things no one tells you about meetings. Number 1, status update meetings are a complete waste of time. I used to have a lot of status update meetings when I worked at my corporate job. In fact, I remember having one status update meeting where the entire team was asked to provide an update on their work. The problem is everyone kept giving updates on their work, but nobody asked any questions or gave any feedback. No one likes being talked at. Everyone wants to talk, and no one wants to listen. Status update meetings are a classic example of this. If you have something to say it once and then move on. Don't keep saying the same thing over and over again. As a manager, you should encourage your team members to speak up and ask questions. But if they don't, then don't force them to listen to you talk about things they already know. No, too. One meeting leads to another. When I worked at my corporate job, I remember having a meeting where we were discussing a project that was behind schedule. At the end of the meeting, my boss told me to have a one-on-one meeting with one of our clients to discuss the delay. After the meeting with the client, I needed to update my boss on what was discussed, so I scheduled another meeting. During that meeting, my boss asked me to draft an email to the client. After I sent the email, I waited for a response from the client. When I got a response, I had another meeting with my boss to discuss the client's feedback. You can see how one meeting led to another. This is the hidden side of meetings. They never end. They just keep going on and on and on. No. 3. Meetings are a necessary evil. We all hate them, but sometimes they are necessary. For example, if you want to get feedback from your boss, you need to have a meeting with them. Or if you want to discuss an important project with your team, you need to have a meeting. Think of meetings as a necessary evil, just like you wouldn't choose to eat junk food. But if you're at a party and the only food available is junk food, you might as well eat it. The same way, you may not want to have meetings, but if it's the only way to get something done, then you have to have them. No, 4. People come to meetings prepared. Not only do people come to meetings unprepared, they also come with hidden agendas. They might be trying to impress their boss, or they might be trying to get more work for themselves. Whatever their agenda may be, it's important to be aware of it. The best way to do this is to get to know your team members on a personal level. If you know them better, you'll be able to spot their hidden agendas. No. 5. You will lose focus in meetings. Even if you're the most focused person in the world, you will lose focus in a meeting. That's just how they work. The best way to deal with this is to have a clear agenda and to stick to it. Also, make sure that everyone in the meeting is focused. If someone is off task, gently bring them back. No. 6. People will blame you for the meeting not being productive. If a meeting isn't productive, people will blame you for it. Even if it's not your fault, they will still blame you. The best way to deal with this is to make sure that you have a clear agenda and that you stick to it. If the meeting goes off track, don't be afraid to stop it and start again. No. 7. Your meetings will run over time. No matter how much time you allocate for a meeting, it will run over. That's just how they work. The best way to deal with this is to keep the agenda short and sweet. Also, make sure that everyone in the meeting is aware of the time constraints. No. 8. Some people will dominate the meeting. There are always a few people in a meeting who dominate the conversation. They might be the loudest or they might be the most senior. Whatever the case may be, they will make it difficult for others to contribute. The best way to deal with this is to set ground rules for the meeting. Make sure that everyone understands that they need to be respectful of others and that they need to allow everyone to speak. No. 9. Not all meetings require your input. If you're in a meeting and you realize that your input is not required, don't be afraid to leave. You're wasting everyone's time by staying. Number 10. You will have to have difficult conversations in meetings. Sometimes you will have to have difficult conversations in meetings. Maybe you'll have to give someone feedback, or maybe you will have to tell someone that they rate doing a bad job. Whatever the case may be, It's important to be prepared for these conversations. The best way to do this is to have a plan and to practice what you will say. Meetings are a necessary evil. We all hate them, but sometimes they are necessary. By following the tips above, you can make your meetings more effective and more enjoyable. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.